Hi and welcome back to my channel. So I've not done a video for a while because I've mainly been riding this summer and taking of it. But one thing I did do is I built up this Nukeproof Mega. So I managed to get a really good deal from Chain Reaction Cycles. 500 quid for the frame delivered. It's a 2020 model, so it's obviously an older frame, but got the frame, the shock, the headset, like I said, for 500 quid. And when I transferred all my bits over, you can probably see the blingy Hope, so obviously Hope hubs. And I've got the Hope Tech 3s. These are the, I think they're called the E3, so they're like the Enduro brakes. And on this 14 kilo bike, they are perfect. So I've been riding this for a few weeks. Not been on my e-bike, on my Specialized. Just been enjoying the summer, sessioning some of the bike parks and things like that. And I forgot just how much I love these Hope brakes. But what I've gone and done is I've done it. I've bitten the bullet. I'm sick of the RSCs. So they are coming off, and I've forked out for some lovely, drum roll please, Hope Tech. These are the Hope Tech 4s, and these are the V4s. So because the e-bike is heavier, it's 19 kilos versus like the 14 kilos here when I've got the range extender on, I want a bit more braking power. So these are touted to be 30% more powerful than the E3 V3s. But you can never have enough power. So gone for the funky black and blue colour. You can get loads of different colours. I do a raw colour with different colour top cap and adjusters. I like the raw colour, but didn't really go on my bike, so I went for these because they look really funky. And if you look, I know that we're comparing V4s against E3s, but just the sheer size difference in the caliper, I don't know if it shows up well, but you can see that there's pistons. So what it does is it runs a single pistons very similar to the ones on the E3s, but then you've got this secondary oversized piston. So I'm expecting some monstrous braking, stopping power versus the RSCs. As well, obviously matchmaker components, so I can put the dropper and the shifter, keep them on the keep everything clean how it is now. So I'm going to fit these bad boys and then take it for a ride and see how they feel, see how they compare. Say goodbye, Mr. Rubbish Brakes. Look at that. Changed the pads not that long ago in that video. They look spongy, and yes, they're being bled properly. Just noisy. Whoever rates these, I don't get it. Can someone explain it to me? So time to whip these bad boys off. Good brakes, bad brakes, good brakes. So before I fit the brakes, I want to talk to you a bit more about what you get in the box with the Tech for V4s. So you get obviously the brake itself, cable length's 1.7 meters. You got all these barbs and connectors. So obviously you're going to need to reduce the length of the cable, because 1.7 meters at the front is going to be too long. 1.7 at the rear might be okay, and then you also get these to fit the brakes onto the post mounts, whatever mounts you're using. So one of the coolest things with the Hope brakes is you get all three pad types. Well, there's a couple of others. There's a sintered and a yellow one, but this is really good that you get this including the box, because you can play around the different pad types. You've got all-round organics, racing green organics, and then you've also got these purple e-bike specific ones. So whilst I absolutely love Hope brakes, love my E3s, I have got one little pet niggle about the brakes, and that is this little retaining pin here. Now the retaining screw itself, not an issue, but for some reason Hope like to use this tiny little retaining pin, and that's obviously there if you pad, the retaining screw comes unscrewed, it stops it coming all out and your pads from ejecting. But they're so fiddly to get in and out. I've had a couple of them ping off before, and it's cost me nearly a £5 to just get two of these tiny little twisted paper clip type things. So what I've done is I'm making one modification that I think is better. Is I've gone to Uber Bikes and got these titanium retaining bolts that use the Shimano and SRAM type circlip, and I actually think that would look neater as well, because the circlip that goes on here is easy to put on, easier to take off. The 10 a penny compared to the Hope ones, and once you've got that through there, and the circlip, because it's black, it's going to blend in with the caliper, and I think it's actually going to look neater than this wobbly pin that sticks out. So we go. I've switched it over, and I think that looks neater. You can't really see the retainer when you like that, so let me know what you think, but I definitely think that looks neat, and having that wiggly fiddly pin thing through it. So I've now got the lever mounted, and you gotta give it to Hope. They do make some really awesome looking brakes, and I think that works really well with the bike. Gorgeous levers. Now, I was hoping that I could get away with reutilising my post mounts. And for those of you wondering and thinking about getting the V4s, I suppose this applied to the V3s as well, is because this larger piston, you don't have the clearance. You're a couple of mil out. So you might get away with the E's. With the V's it's a no, so I'm going to have to buy the post mount L and post mount M. So there we go. They'll be coming off soon, my friend. So I've now got the Hope Tech 4 V4s fully fitted, and there you go. And I've just been to Hampsley and had a ride there. Did some of the main trails, and also it was raining, so did some of the loamy, muddy, slippy routes, some of the off-piste stuff, and even without bedding them in, they just performed brilliantly. So still kept the modulation, because these modulate better than the RSCs are found. RSCs are more on and off. The lever pull, it's not pulling anywhere into the bars, so you've got a lot more control, which is brilliant. Look at that bleed, look at that's fully pulled on. So much easier to adjust than the RSCs with that silly little wheel you've got here. Absolutely phenomenal brakes, cannot fault them at all. So I'm running the purple pads, which are the e-bike specific. Look at that caliper, it's still a bit dirty after the clean, not so clean now the water's dried. I will, one word of caution. So obviously they take .5.1 fluid, and I'd got a little drop on these bars. It was only on there for about 30 seconds, cleaned it off with isopropyl alcohol, but it was long enough for it to damage the bars. So still function fine, but just looks a little bit ropey with that damage. So a word of warning is be super careful. I mean, I've had .5 fluid on here before. I must have caught it sooner, or cleaned it off better. But yeah, isopropyl alcohol and a rag, but it still did the damage. So just be super careful. But super easy to bleed, super easy to fit, super easy to adjust. Everything that the RSCs aren't. I'll see how pad life goes. The RSCs was going through pad like nobody's business, and the lever was pulling in closer and closer as they wore down, even with the adjust. So I'll let you know how they perform, but so far absolutely loving them. I'm running centre lines at the minute, but I might upgrade to the Hope V4 vented at the front, and obviously put a Hope floating on the back as well. So there you go. That's the process. Oh, actually I wanted to show you one other thing. I want to show you the state of the RSC hose. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know whether they used a softer material, but yeah, I'm glad I've done a brake switch. Here's the rear RSCs. Look absolutely fine until you get to here. So I don't know how, but that is pretty much split, if it'll focus. All the way. I don't know how it hasn't how it hasn't leaked any fluid out, so I don't know how that happened, not quite sure, but it's obviously quite near the caliper end, but so I must have caught something on the root or something. But yeah, the other reason why I'm glad I've switched them, because I think that was an accident waiting to happen. So there you go, that's my review, very whistle-stop tour review of the V4s, and what I think of the RSCs, and I'm just so glad to get rid.